welcome back to my channel. Good morning, vlogsters. Grab your coffee. It's time to wake up. Wake up. In full disclosure, it's 3:46 in the afternoon. But I'm going to have my sort of first cup of coffee, and I'll tell you why. So cheers. It is good. Jimmy makes a good cup of coffee. I'm not going to lie. I mean, granted, it's a Keurig, but it definitely gets the creamer portion down, and you can't even taste the Miralax. Well, I say for full disclosure, it's 3:46 in the afternoon because we had a very, very early in the city doctor's appointment today. We left here at 6:45. And I mean like was on the road at 6:45. We had to be in St. Louis at 8:30, which we made it in plenty of time, actually. Not plenty of time, with about 5 or 6 minutes to spare. And Jim was just super tired. It's really funny because I apologized to him today a lot. This was one of the appointments that the doctor had made the CAT scans for, and then checked to see afterwards if it was okay. And at first I was just thinking about like, yeah, it should be early in the morning so that Jimmy can get back and go to work. But my brain didn't think it's too early. He's not going to have any sleep. I don't know. It's just weird. So we got up really early and we went. And I knew it wasn't a CAT scan with contrast because it was in my bones, not my organs. I think that's why. I don't know. But we hustled and muscled to get out there, and I didn't even grab a bottle of water or coffee this morning. We didn't really have time to stop on the way because this morning we were like, let's get up at 6, but he doesn't get home until after 10, and it was like 10:30 by the time he actually like got settled in bed. And of course that doesn't settle his brain. He still has to like, but he put on his music, he took his medicine, and he laid down. Not his music, the Thunderstorm. Michelle Weeks sent him a Thunderstorm, like a noisemaker, and he really likes it. He listens to it every night. I miss you, Michelle, if you're out there. I haven't heard from you in a while. I hope you're okay. Anyhow, he was tired. I was tired. Got the tests done. Got really, really good results, which is great. So that's why I'm giving you 2 thumbs up here. Found out that I couldn't drive. Well, there's no spinal restrictions for driving. I can bend and I can twist. I'm not allowed to lift, and I'm not allowed to do any of those things, bending or twisting, while moving something heavy. So I'm not allowed to lift anything over, I don't know, what do you say, 20 pounds, 10 pounds? Don't lift anything over 10 pounds, 20 pounds. I feel like last time he said 20 and this time he said 10, but maybe I'm mishearing. And then Jim's funny because he was on his phone and I was like, put your phone down, because then people on the channel don't think you don't know that I'm making all this stuff up because you don't know anything, because you don't listen when we go to the doctor. And he's like, all I heard was you can't lift. That's all I heard. And I was like, seriously? But I actually got a picture of, he was able to take the images and put them up on the big screen in the TV, which is really cool. And I did get a picture. This picture is, on the very, very left is the original tumor. And on the right is the, well, it's actually 4 screens. So the very, very left is the tumor on my L3, originally back in November. Next screen is my T. There's apparently a bunch of tumors along my thoracic vertebrae. And the second picture on the screen is them back in November. The third picture on the screen is them now. And then on the 4th picture on the screen, I asked him, he took cervical spine today. And I said, is there a reason? And he said, oh, I just like to check the whole spine. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I just want to make sure, like, I said, you know, because he was the first person that told me I had anything in my lumbar. It was a fairly invasive tumor, as you can tell. So I wish I would have thought to take the picture. I put in a submission for the films because I really would like to share the films with you. But I wish I would have taken a picture of like the thoracic, the lumbar spine before and after, because you can actually see like, so there's this big hollow area that looks hollow and it looks like there's no bone on the side. All the hollow part's the tumor. And on the new scan, you can see that the hollow part is smaller and there's all this white stuff on the outside, and that's new bone growth, which I thought was pretty cool. He said basically the tumor is receding, so it's allowing the bone to grow, and he's pretty happy about it. And it doesn't look, he goes, honestly, if you were somebody who came in with just a fractured spine at this condition, he goes, I wouldn't have even recommended a brace. Like now, not when it was back then. So I'm so happy about that. And he basically said, still same restrictions. He said, no lumbar, same restrictions. And then when he left, I forgot to ask him, I was going to ask him about twerking as a joke, because I need to start dancing again, but I'm having patience with myself. But when the nurse came back in to give me the paperwork, I said, I forgot to ask him a few questions, and I'm sorry, I got so excited about not wearing a brace. I just let him go out without asking these questions. So she goes, okay, what do you got? I said, can I drive? And can I bend? And then I joked about twerking. And he said, yes, yes, and yes. I said, you asked him about twerking? She's like, no, twisting. I was going to ask him about twerking, but I thought I would leave that for you. So I can drive. I have no driving restrictions as far as the spine is concerned. I have no bending restrictions. Well, except for heavy things, but I'm allowed to bend over and touch my toes and stretch. And I can twist again. So, yay. My sister was like, twist and shout. Is that what she said? Did you say twist and shout? Or she said, in bedrock, twist. I can't remember if she said in bedrock, twist, but she said something. So, and Julie, if you're watching, which I know you don't watch, but I'm sorry about the early text. It was, I thought it was 10 o'clock here, which means it was 8 o'clock there, and I know it's your day off. But I forgot it was your day off because you just recently switched to Wednesdays. But I do apologize ahead of time, so I'm sorry. But I was just so excited to share that, and I just texted my sisters just to let them know. Now, I will tell you that I have recommendations from my eye doctor not to drive until we get the retinopathy back under control. So, basically he's saying that this whole new situation, with and all that stuff, we're going to try new shots. I have appointment back with him. I see him again the day before Thanksgiving. So definitely no driving till Thanksgiving, or recommended. Obviously, it's in your hands. Now, I feel comfortable. I feel like I can see well enough to drive. If I had to drive for an emergency, like I actually told Jimmy, if you need me to drive home, I can. And he's like, you shouldn't. And I was like, I know, but, And then honestly, he started to get really sleepy. I was FaceTiming with my sister, and all of a sudden, he was like swerving. And I was like, are you okay? And he's like, no, I'm fighting to stay awake. I was like, dude, tell me that. I hung up with my sister, and I was like, let me just talk to you. And I didn't realize that he was that sleepy. And I should have, but I didn't. This was the first time that he actually got like that sleepy, to that extent. So I told him next time, I said, listen, I don't care if it's even on the side of the road. If you need to pull over, let yourself out. I was like, we can Chinese fire drill. You won't have to get out in the street. Just pull over. I said, I will get out, or you can climb into the back, and then I'll scooch over, and then you can get into the passenger seat. You don't have to worry about us getting out and being in traffic. We can do this in the minivan. So I'm like, so now I have more freedom. Freedom! But I roll. I still have things that I want to do that I can't right now because I can't lift. I actually said to him, I was like, oh, so even if I can't lift, like say I can't lift for like, I don't know, 6 more months, because that's when he wants to see me again in 6 months. So say I can't lift for 6 more months. I was like, I could get the Christmas decorations out and I could stack them and I can drag them or push them, because that's what I do. I walk and I push them. I was like, I can push them to the doorway, and then I could slide them off the bottom box into the house, and then I can slide and just leave one box for you to pick up when you get home. He's like, I guess you could. And I was like, I just want to be able to do everything again. So having patience with myself is a huge thing. And then having patience with others. You know, I have people who are like so kind, and I know that this probably happens to you all as well. But when someone offers to help you and says like anything you need, and then it seems like when you need it, they can't do it. Obviously, you have to, I'm understanding about it. Like, I do get it. It's just so, it's like, it's not disappointing. Not in them, though. I'm disappointed in myself that I even have to ask for help. It's so silly, because as human beings, we're like really pack animals, and we do rely on each other. We do learn to rely on each other for help, and we should be able to rely on each other for help. But as a society has grown, we've become more individualized and independent. And maybe that's really just here in the United States. Maybe this, being a woman in the United States of America, born in the 70s, raised in the 80s, maybe it taught us that we can do everything, and we should be able to do it all by ourselves. Because literally, what's the theme song that we grew up on? Bring home the bacon, fry it up in a pan, and never let you forget you're a man. Because I'm a woman, WOMAN. That was the Angelique commercial, right? Angelique? Or Charlie? No, Charlie was Mom's favorite perfume. Here now, Charlie. Anyhow. So we tend to rely on that notion that we have to rely on ourselves, and it's hard to ask for help. And I'm sitting over here and I'm like, okay, what can I do? I'm allowed to bend over, but I'm not allowed to lift. So can I do the laundry? No, but I can separate the laundry. But as far as lifting is concerned, like if I put one piece at a time with the grabber, like can I do one piece at a time? I just don't know. And then when it's wet, getting it out of the wash machine. Oh, he never checked my back, and now it's itchy. That hurt. Oh, well. Oh, well. So, Jim, I started this whole story to tell you why it's 3:45 and I'm drinking coffee now. So we came home from the appointment. Jim was exhausted. I asked him, I said, if I go lay down with you, because I wanted a nap too. So if I go lay down with you, I'm probably going to end up keeping you awake. So I said, I'll go on the couch, and if I fall asleep on the recliner, that's fine. The couch has a recliner, you know. And he was like, okay. And then I asked him, I'm like, can you just get me my iPad? And oh, he got me turkey. Because we stopped at Hardee's for breakfast, and I have to tell you, I was very disappointed. Very, very disappointed. A very, very expensive breakfast that was a very, very small amount of food that gave me indigestion. I'm telling you, I know that that's crazy, but I was very disappointed. So, and I couldn't see the menu. That was another thing. Like, Jimmy was helping. We both left our readers at home, which was so bizarre. You check in on these kiosks at the hospital, and I was like, can somebody come and help us? We both left our readers at home. Neither one of us could see the screen. So, anyway, and then I checked in with a human being for the CT scans. But the lady who did the scans was super nice. I had to take out my earrings. I had to take out all of my earrings, and I could leave in my nose ring. But when I took this one out, I had changed it to a ring, I don't know, the day before yesterday, because the faux gauge, the tree of life that I had on was just like, I don't know, I feel like it was too tight maybe, or it was covering too much area. So what it was doing is my ear was swelling, and then it was becoming like this swollen ridge. And I think it's just normal because it's healing still, you know, when new piercings are just healing. So I keep it clean, but of course this is a big fat flat wood piece next to a big fat. So you have to, like, you're not supposed to take it out, but you really can't clean under it because it's not just a little piercing. It's a, so my sister recommended plastic gauge with like a bar, and I was like, duh. Literally, duh. I don't know what I was thinking. That's perfect. Why not? I don't know. So, I wanted to work on Halloween decor this afternoon. I was just so tired. So I ended up falling asleep on the couch, and I realized that I had gotten a Starbucks on the way home, and they forgot to put sweetener in it. They forgot to put the French vanilla in it, like the vanilla syrup. And it was really gross. It really was gross. That's what I think gave me the indigestion. When bitter coffee sometimes can give me indigestion. I don't know why. I don't know if the sweetener mellows the oils, or... It sounds dumb. I know it sounds dumb. It was probably the breakfast sandwich, though. Anyhow, I had Starbucks on the way home. I didn't finish it, and I asked him to put it in the refrigerator for tomorrow. And then I was like, wait, I forgot that I didn't actually take my Miralax today. And I usually have my Miralax on my first cup of coffee in the morning. And I was like, you know what? Can I just have a cup of coffee? I would like to not go back to sleep right away. I only napped for about 35, 40 minutes, which is a perfect nap time. But it's not so much that I can't sleep tonight. So I was like, if you can just give me my coffee, I'll vlog. I'll have coffee time with peoples. I'll share them my outfit of the day. I've got my solemnly swear I'm up to no good shirt on with my Marauders Map pants. Did you guys ever see these Marauders Map pants? I don't know if you can even see it where I'm sitting, but it's got like the Marauders Map. Oh wait, this side might be easier to see. You see it's got like the Marauders Map on it. And if you're not a Harry Potter fan, there's this map. No spoilers, or spoiler alert, right? There's this map called the Marauders Map. And Harry Potter's dad and his friends made it when they were in school. And it's basically this map that you open by saying, I solemnly swear I'm up to no good. And then the map opens to reveal where everybody is in Hogwarts. Like, it shows them walking around in their rooms or in the hallways, as you can kind of keep track of where everybody is. And to close the map, and it should say it on the back. I kind of feel like on the back of this t-shirt it should say it. But to close the map, you say, mischief managed. So that's why some of my coffee cups actually say, like, I solemnly swear I'm up to no good and mischief managed on the back. But anyhow, there's cute little footprints going up and down the pants. Why am I talking to you about my clothes? I wear my Harry Potter hoodie and my Harry Potter coat, purse. But my Harry Potter purse I can't carry because it's too heavy. It's got too much junk in it. And in all seriousness, it has wipes and my personal hygiene assistant. It has my wallet. It has a hat. I usually keep a beanie in there in case I get cold, which I did today. It has a brush and my masks. So it doesn't even have a ton of stuff. It's just that between my wallet and the wipes, it ends up being more than the 10 pounds that I'm supposed to carry. Womp womp. But these things I need. It's not like I'm not carrying, like I used to just be like always prepared for everything. I had the most giantest purse that I just... Oh, you need a maxi pad? I haven't had my period in 3 years, but I can go in my purse and get you a maxi pad because I'm that kind of friend. But no, I don't carry that stuff around me anymore. I just can't. Anyhow. So, Jim just went to work. Normally, he said he wants to do wound care before he goes to work. But I fell asleep and I woke up at 3 o'clock and I didn't see him, and I called him and it was about 3:05, and I said, are you awake? And he said, it's time to wake up. And he's like, no, I'm awake. I'm in my office. And I was like, okay. He's like, I was just coming out to feed the cats. And I was like, okay, but what we found out yesterday was, let me go in the room for wound care before you feed the cats, because if I try to go by the cats as they're eating, the one that's kind of old and blindish gets scared and runs away. So I was like, all right, before you start feeding them, I'll meet you in the bedroom for wound care. And I ended up stopping at the bathroom. And he's like, I'm in the bathroom. And he's like, it's 20 after. He's like, I don't know if I have time for this. And I was like, okay, we can do them tonight. Like, I don't care about doing them before bed. I don't need to have my pajamas on until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So he's like, you sure? And I was like, yeah, I'm sure. I'm fine to do it every night before bed. The only times I feel like we'll have to do it earlier are times like yesterday, where we knew he had to go right to bed when he came home. So doing them before he goes to work would have been an optimal, which we did. But normally I don't care. And honestly, they're healing so well that I don't have to wear my brace. They're really starting to just really get better quicker, which is great. I still have some left, but definitely they're getting smaller. And they're with the clobetasol cream that I mix into the ointment. No, with the clobetasol solution that I mix into the cream, it definitely hurts a lot less. It does hurt. When I do this, I feel it. It stings and pulls. But it's about like a 3 on the pain scale. You know, it's tolerable. Especially sitting up. I really want to go in my craft room. It's just a little bit of a hazardous area for me right now. And I'm like, do I risk it? Want to risk it. I really want to risk it. I know. I might. But my phone is so full of videos that even if I go in there, I probably can't even record anything. I'll take pictures when I'm done. Oh, I wish I had a personal assistant. I do. I wish I had somebody who, like my home health aide helps me do my daily tasks. She said she would help me organize and clean because that's what she really likes to do. But I mean, I just wish somebody would sit on my computer and throw out all of the extra stuff we don't need and just the things that I used to love to do, but I just don't love them on that big, giant, monitored computer. I don't know if it's just the chair and the desk situation is very uncomfortable for me. That's probably it. It's a very uncomfortable working environment. Originally, that computer was supposed to go in my office, in my craft room. The way I have it set up right now is basically, I wanted it so that when I turn around, I could work on the computer. Like literally just turn around, roll over, and just do whatever I needed to do, editing and uploading, and then go back to the work table. Because it's a iMac and everything is just the monitor is the computer. So, even moving it from the counter to the table if I needed to, is not a huge deal. It is now because I'm not allowed to lift 20 pounds, but normally it wouldn't be a big deal. I am still taking Miralax. I do have to go for blood work. I have an appointment Monday morning to the ENT. Remember, I was supposed to go day before yesterday, and yesterday I had to cancel because I really wasn't feeling good. Was it yesterday or Monday? It was yesterday. I had an appointment yesterday and I had to cancel because I wasn't feeling good. And before, the ENT is right by the lab. So I'm thinking that I'll go do my fasting labs on Friday morning before I go to the ENT at 11:15. So no coffee for me. But my doctor wants to do a full thyroid panel, not just the normal thyroid panel. She wants to do the extensive one. And of course my A1C. Do that again. with being sick and everything, I told you my blood sugar's been out of control. Not really out of control. It makes no sense. You know, normally you could say, oh, I had a carb-rich meal and I didn't do a lot of exercise. So I expect that I'm going to have a high blood sugar. But when you're sick, your body's doing things that aren't normal. Like normally it would be like that, but it's not normal. So that's the part where you're like, let's figure this out, you know? Anywho, there's just a lot of things, and I'm putting expectations on people because I'm trying not to put expectations on myself. And I'm getting disappointed. But I've got lots of good things coming ahead, so I can focus on them. I want to tell you something, and this is something that I keep inside most of the time. I do have hope and faith that there is a cure, that I will be better. And there's no doubt in my mind that if I fight hard enough and long enough, that eventually all the tumors will shrink to non-existent. Like, honestly, I do. But cancer aside, we all have a finite amount of time on this planet. And when I want to be able to do something, knowing that, like, I don't know how many good days ahead of me I'll have. So it's like, I want to be able to do it now, and I want to do it now. So let me go do it. And then I'm like, but I can't because, I still have a kind of a restriction too, is that, like, I still have to use my walker. So I can't, like, not only can I not lift things that are more than 10 pounds, but I can't even carry light things while I'm walking. I do have a mesh bag, a bag hanging on there. So some things I can, smaller things can fit in the bag, which is fine. That's how I get my phone and my iPad and my glasses to the table. But, like, I have things like that I want to bring in there. I want to bring in that giant coffin top, you know, that's leaning against my fireplace. I want to bring that in, and I want to do that project. But I can't, I'm like trying to figure out how could I fit, like, will it fit? No, I, like, you know, just like, I don't know what to do. So it does sometimes to me sound like I am just making excuse after excuse for myself, but I get, that's what gets me mad at myself. That's what gets me frustrated with myself. I'm like, Jerry, are you just making excuses? And I'm like, that part of me is like, no, biatch. you have, like, the doctor said you have limits, you have restrictions. You have got to stop pushing yourself. And I have this internal argument. I'm not trying to, like, it kind of sounds like a joke right now, but I do have this internal argument every day. Like I literally want to just get up and, like, pick up the things that are falling on the floor. Like, if my grabber's over there, but the thing's over there, I'm like, ugh. I just want to pick it up. You know, now I can. That's true. Now I can. But up to this point, I would be like, oh, it's just driving me crazy because the thing's on the floor. And then I'm like, I would be like, Jerry, are you just being lazy? I'm like, no, because the doctor said you can't do this, so stop. And I'm like fighting with myself. I'm my own worst critic. I'm my own worst enemy. I have to remind myself that I am only a human being, and I am actually a very what's the word I was just going to use? I was going to say feeble. I was going to say fable because I thought I meant feeble, but I'm not really feeble. I'm fragile. I happen to be a very fragile human being at the moment. So that's the part that I have to forget. I have to remember, because I have always been such a tough broad up until this point. Like, you know, oh, you want to hang sheetrock? Let's go. You want to go play ball? Let's go. You want to do flag football? Let's go. You know, I'm all for it. You want to move furniture? Let's go. And I'm like, girl, what? Your body is doing something different than your mind and wants to do, and stop. You're going to hurt yourself, or you're going to make it worse. And that's the part. See, that's the part. I'm not scared about pain, and I'm not scared about, like, oh, you know, I shouldn't have done that because now I'm paying for it. It's more like I don't want to be back in that bed. Like, I don't want to do anything that's going to make me have to go back in that bed or have to wear a brace again or have to have limits on my walking. Do you understand? Like, more limits. I don't want that at all. I am trying to avoid that at all costs. However, the other hand of that is to have patience with yourself, to allow your body to heal by not doing the things that you want to do, which almost feels like you're stuck in bed anyway, which is kind of so bizarre. It's such a bizarre thing. I feel like I probably have to rethink me. I probably have to rethink my goals, rethink my desires, rethink my wishes. I almost feel like that sometimes. Like, yes, I want to do this, that, and the other, and I want to go camping, and I want to go hiking, but can I just normally hike now? Can I hike like a normal person now? Like, even once my leg restrictions, once my walker restrictions are up, can I just go hiking? Do I risk, like, because hiking you risk falling down, and normally you just fall down and you hurt yourself. That's, 6 weeks and you're back up again. But this is like, if I fall down and hurt myself, it could do permanent damage the way my bones are. It's so frustrating, and I feel such an amazing amount of sympathy for people who have like brittle bones, arthritis, like not my like rheumatoid arthritis, like lifelong. I have a friend who had arthritis since she was 13, and she was in her 40s and walking with a cane. Sweet, beautiful, just beautiful lady. Fun. We actually had the same birthday. Well, we still have the same birthday. Just so sweet, and she, she's just as thin as can be, and had a great shape, and just had arthritis everywhere, and just poor thing, So, I have such an amazing amount of compassion, more compassion for those types of people, or people who have those conditions, is what I meant to say. Not those types of people. Those people who have those types of conditions. I have such a great sympathy for them now. Because you want to do things that your body shouldn't be doing. And you do have limits on your body. And you don't want to do anything that can cause some detrimental damage. That's what I'm going through right now. Right now, I have 5 boxes of Halloween decor in my living room. And I 100% want to drag them over to the couch one at a time. Unpack, purge what I'm not going to keep, and decorate what I'm going to. Like, decorate with what I'm going to. And I just have to wait for help. I've got to wait for somebody to help me. Jim said we'll work on it tomorrow. My home health aide said we will work on it tomorrow if I'm feeling up to it. But I have got to think differently about what I can do, should do, and want to do. I have to change what I want to do to match what I should do and can do. And that's hard. That's the hard part. Having limits on your life, having limits on your body since birth is probably a lot, not easier, but it's sort of like you know what you're missing. Like when you have limits on your life since birth, you really don't know what you're missing. You see it, but you don't know how it feels. You don't know what it's like to win the game and high five everybody on the way by, and you don't know what it's like to serve that volley right in front of that girl and she just didn't even see it coming, Anyhow, but this is the new normal. We're learning it. We're learning the new normal. Like I said, I feel I've got a lot of vim and vigor right now, and I feel like I could go in that craft room and do stuff. I don't know what I would be able to do, because it's like I said, there's stuff back on the floor. I want to get a key and lock the door. I want to get a key and lock the door and not let anybody in without my permission. Put this in my craft room on the table only. Don't now put it on the floor. If there's no room on the table, come and get me and I will fix it. Just breathe. Just breathe. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. Anywho, as my mom used to say, anywho. I am going to also share with you a little bit of, I thought it was very pretty footage. I don't know how, I shouldn't say that. I didn't look at the footage, but I took some pictures of the foliage. Everything's beautiful, like this rust orange color out there. It got cold fast. I told you we had a frost before the leaves actually got to change. So they're almost like shocked into place. And then our tree is the most gorgeous color orange right now. And I have a picture of that. And I'll hopefully remember to share it with you. Actually, you know what I should do? I should just edit this right now so I won't forget. And then I can throw out the raw footage. And then I'll have more room on my phone. Something like that. But other than having to get up really early in the morning, it was an absolutely gorgeous day. We were able to watch the sun come up, which was fantastic. It was beautiful, and it highlighted the tops of trees over the hills. And, you know I don't live in the mountains. It's not the Rockies, and it's not like the Blue Ridge Mountains. But look, I grew up in New York State, and there's Adirondacks there. It's not like they're huge, but they're Ozarks and Adirondacks. They're like the same, But I could live in the foothills. But hey, it's mountainous. Hey, look, I grew up on a beach. Everything on the North Shore of Long Island was more mountainous than it was on the South Shore. So, anyway, so to me it's the mountains, and then when you drive through, like they cut out through the mountain to put the road, and then you can see like this ridge is casting a shadow on that ridge. It's just stunning. I didn't videotape or take pictures of everything all day. I just got a couple of good shots, or shots that I wanted to share with you. I thought were pretty. I hope they came out okay, because otherwise, and the windshield is full of dead bugs. So there's that. We'll see how it turns out. But listen, I'm going to go now. I love you. Remember, if nobody's told you you're loved, you can always come by and hear how much I love you, because guys, I love you so much. You really do make this journey bearable. I do, and enjoyable. So thank you. And as always, you guys take care. God bless. And we'll see you next time. Bye. Bye.